zero-generation Indian immigrant. You
Yeah.
probably, yeah, like,
But it is overrated.
build an iPhone yourself, dude. You could.
I think I just got to figure out how to become white.
I did have a question. Like, what is your square job?
My square job?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a square job?
Analytics stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Numbers. I feel like I
Numbers.
have more of an Indian job than you do.
What's yours?
I basically do tech support at a vape shop.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. The only way it gets more Indian is if it's at a kiosk at the mall.
He's smooth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Connie's Untitled Nighttime Talk Show. I'm here with my friend Raj Suresh. Raj Suresh, you are the said to be the Russell Peters of comedy.
I think
In
Russell
Northwest
Peters is the
Arkansas.
Russell Peters of comedy. Yeah, there's a guy. He's already well established.
Well, of Northwest Arkansas. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
you know,
what? Like
and
the one Indian, the
one Indian relative
comedian?
success level. Yeah. Follow through.
Nice.
You're helping produce a comedy festival in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
What is your role with that? Because like I can't book a show without having just a cluster of things happen.
I mean, my role is I called a buddy of mine and I was like, we should do a festival. And he's like, sounds like fun. And that was it. You know.
That was it. So it was like forming a band basically.
Pretty much. But yeah, man, I've been doing this 10 years now at this point.
Yeah.
And
So,
yes,
like-
you still have stuff happen.
100%.
Every time you know. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a show, and then a young comic who will remain unnamed bailed on it last second to go play Blue Room Springfield,
Whoa.
which I get. Harrison, Broad Street.
It is closer to home for him.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So, like, stuff's always happening. Yeah, just try to have fun with the shows as much as I can. Put stuff on whenever.
It's the production part of it that kills me.
Yeah.
You know, like, because all I wanted to do was get on stage.
Yeah.
And then, like, either some combination of my or other people's behavior, you know, I had to learn how to use the rest of the stuff,
Right,
you know, to do literally everything.
right,
Uh,
right.
We're gonna blow these guys out later
Okay.
in post. That's another thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm doing like every job that you can just to do as much of it as I can by myself, and I feel like that is
What, in comedy?
comedy,
What about-
entertainment. I don't know, because like okay, so like the comedy thing for me, like I just got a rejection letter from a comedy festival that I'd been to, you know, like 2 years in a row.
Right.
And I'm not mad about it because if they put me, I'd be more pissed if they put me in the same room they put me in for the last 2 years.
Sure. Plus,
Then
I mean, if you got lucky enough to do it 2 years in a row, they probably don't want to repeat.
Well, you know, and that was something I didn't even consider, you know.
What's that?
I guess that was something that I didn't even consider, you know.
Yeah.
In my mind, it was like I'm driving, you know, hours away from home, paying for a hotel to do 5 minutes at a bar
Yeah.
when, like, I'm in the unique position, having played music, you know, like half my life, that
Yeah.
that I can, like,
You've always been paid decent.
well,
Better than comedy money.
that comedy has, like, actually diminished my self-esteem for music gigs.
Right.
I'm in the position now where I'm taking these gigs that other musicians are looking at. They're like, oh my God, outside for 4 hours?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you know, yeah, because that way I don't have to go to open mics, you know, and if the room fills up and they like me, I can do a couple jokes. And,
Yeah.
you know, they're not here to see comedy.
But you can do comedy.
Yeah, like, God forbid somebody asks a question about my guitar because I got 5 minutes locked up on it and the guy's food is getting cold and I can see that he just wants to be with his family, you know?
Right.
Let him off the hook, play Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, you know, and I can do that and make a couple $100 in one night,
Yeah.
as opposed to like going to like a local club, playing 5 shows, getting like,
A couple $100 for the whole weekend.
right.
Yeah.
You know, because,
What was it? Fountain City or
no,
Blue Whale?
yeah.
Blue Whale's a tough one to get into, man.
I like them. I mean, I don't know. Mine, okay.
No, but it's hard to get into Blue Whale, I'm saying.
The first time okay, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
The first time I submitted, it was the first comedy festival I'd ever submit to.
Yeah.
And the leg up that I thought that I had was that I'd found a way to spend enough time in Tulsa to know everybody on the committee who lets people in and not.
Yeah.
So like I had a good, amicable relationship with, a lot of people in that scene, and because I was just familiar, they're like, yeah, let's bring them up.
Sure, yeah. No, it's totally fair.
But now,
I think we're doing a couple things different with the festival in Bentonville. Like any submission comic that makes it, we're covering the vast majority of their housing, if not the entire thing, for the entire weekend. Plus spot pay every time they are on a show.
And you're probably going to book a lot of locals then, yeah?
No.
No? Well, that would keep costs down. I don't know.
It would keep costs down, but ultimately it's about...
How many people do you have involved with putting something together like that?
3 of us.
3 people.
There's 3 people,
There's
but then,
three people
but then there's a panel that reviews the footage
How do you find those guys?
that Sam and I are not a part of. Like,
Who are those guys then? Like, how do you...
they're all comedy industry folks. We don't like tell everybody who it is.
Right.
But it's all industry folks that will be reviewing footage and then cutting down short lists. And I actually got to look
Are there ever people that like are bummed to be asked to be judges for that kind of thing?
No, because they get paid.
I guess that's true, yeah.
They get paid to review footage, and it's a lot of footage, and that keeps it, I think, keeps them motivated, for sure.
I feel like if that was my job, I'd watch it all on double speed and then see who made the most noise and then go back and review it.
The decibel meter is a bad way to do it, because people will put together clips from rooms where they have all their buddies in there and it's stacked.
Well, okay.
And you can cheat
how
it.
can you... Okay, so...
You have to be able to have a gut sense for whether the joke is actually working.
Ah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's why you get the opinions of multiple people before you see a short list. And, I mean, we offered some direction to the panel. I want to definitely create space for local comics to still be able to do something within the festival, even if it's a single local show, just to be able to have the feeling that there's still part of it. There's no point putting on a great festival in your backyard and then nobody gets to, this scene gets to be part of it.
One of the things that I see on Blue Whale, and this is a very specific niche, is that every year there's like, I can count on at least 10 people complaining about one thing or the other / not being involved.
Oh, like locally?
Yeah.
Well, I think I have the advantage in the sense that I'm not here all the time.
I'd say that's a huge advantage. Yeah.
Just the fact that we could have produced it in Denver. We could have produced it in a lot of places, but we chose Bentonville because this is where I started, and infrastructure-wise, I felt like we have good venues and good relationships.
So did you get to pick the venues?
Yeah.
Meteor Guitar Gallery?
The Meteor.
That one's awesome.
Bentonville Brewing. I'm probably adding one more that hasn't been announced yet.
All right. Stay tuned, kids.
Yeah.
This will probably come out in a couple days.
Yeah, I mean, if this is out in a couple days, we're adding a second show for Cam Patterson.
Oh, yeah?
He's about to sell out the Meteor.
Damn. How many seats in the Meteor?
It's about 250, 300 something in that vicinity.
Yeah.
I'd have to go
seating
back
in the balcony too, or no?
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll seat the whole thing.
Dang.
And then I think we're going to add a 100-seater at Bentonville Brewing, like a late-night show.
Yeah. No, that'd be rad.
Yeah.
Those are both great venues.
Oh, my God.
I'll play both of them. Yeah, it's going to be part of the show.
Well, it's just fucking stupid, I think,
Well, no, I mean, it is what it is. I do this in public, I could have cleaned my garage,
I mean, where do you live?
Springdale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think when it's clear that people are filming and recording something, to stand
dude.
there and have a loud conversation.
I think with the food trucks, it's especially bad. I had a conversation with Ron Javier.
Yeah.
Kudos
to that guy, man. He's like a million years old and he keeps trying. And
he just got his degree. Actually,
I appreciate. Yeah, he's got an MBA or master's in something.
I don't know, dude. Something.
He seems to be like getting younger.
Yeah.
Because the first time I met him, I was like, oh, this dude's he's having it rough.
And then
he seemed to I don't know, something about him changed.
He grew into being old.
Something.
That's good.
Something, but
he just hit max level.
I appreciate that he's even willing to try.
He's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like writing wise, I don't know. I don't want to criticize him too much because I don't know exactly what he's dealing with. The delivery could be clearer. But for fuck's sake, the guy's in his 70s and still drives a car. My dad doesn't do that. For fuck's sake, like that's crazy. I mean, I can't. Who am I to criticize anything that guy does? You know, he's lived more of a life than like anybody who's born today and after. Most of them, at least Americans, like do. Like, I don't know. I actually wanted to talk about that.
What?
So you're an immigrant, right?
Yeah.
You were born in India. First generation.
Zero generation. Yeah.
Generation zero.
Yeah.
What's that like, dude? Took like 20 years to get your green card.
It's good. It's bad. It's everything in between. There's some days where I don't, I'm too American to be Indian, too Indian to be American. So that dichotomy, the third culture kid stuff, is never fun. And then there's other times where I look around and like I've got like a lot of friends here. My fiance is from here, and so it like kind of works out. But I would be lying if I said I didn't wish that I was overseas more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll scale the comedy career. Go do something in Europe and India.
How long did you live in India?
On and off about 5 years, in the Middle East for about 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the Middle East.
Bahrain, tiny little island in the middle of the Arabian Gulf, Persian Gulf.
Huh.
So yeah, man, it's like pretty close to Saudi Arabia, very different from Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
U.S. Naval Fifth Fleet is housed there.
Okay.
And that's where they give us all democracy.
Are you a military family?
No.
No? Huh. You have to travel.
Yeah, no, I mean, but there's Indians throughout the Gulf. Like, we're throughout the Middle East. In very many ways, the Middle East was mostly built not with our money, but by our hands.
Yeah?
Yeah. Dubai didn't, it didn't just spring to by itself.
Right. No, I heard of that.
Yeah.
The camps.
Yeah.
Across the river from the Burj and.
Yeah.
Although,
none of that stuff is fun, and sometimes that's the stuff, right? Like, I went on a cruise ship a couple years ago, and there were Indian guys working the whole time, and you'd leave for the day to do the excursions and stuff. And I'd come back and they'd be like, "How do you get off the ship?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, I'm like, "I don't work here, guys," but I get it.
You guys live here?
So I feel for them because those are my countrymen.
Right.
Yeah. The same way I feel for comedians, Chappelle put it well, where he was like, it's a big family, we fuss and we fight, but ultimately we're in it together.
Hey, I had to tell somebody in the past that I told to kiss my ass recently that, sorry about all that. There's a recent situation and I need all the help I can get.
You told someone to kiss your ass. And then
5 years ago.
Oh.
And then recently, the guy who books my Thursdays died.
Renago?
I was like, hey.
Great guy.
Guys, no.
Great guy.
We're doing a roast for his remembrance.
It's on Sunday, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna come just to...
Not to participate?
Not to...
I'm supposed to host it? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, no, roasting him. It's gonna be like a funeral, except you just talk about awful stuff. I've got like a couple jokes, Like Renaga and I were really close, He dated my cousin in the 80s, so we're Eskimo bros.
It's gross. The only one I was riffing with the comics last night, and I was like, for a guy that looked like he believed, for a guy that looked like Dumbledore, he sure was bad at keeping himself alive.
Oh my god.
Or like Renaga had a lot of friends in Eureka Springs. Mm-hmm. Remind me which of you forgot to sell him the longevity crystals. I don't think they work, guys. You need to charge those up some.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. Because, that's what they want us to do. They want us to, make a scarecrow, go roast it.
They want you to make an effigy of Renaga?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's terrifying.
I know!
Has he been buried yet?
I hope. Is that a thing?
I don't know. Weekend at Bernie's.
I've never made an effigy before.
No, effigies are usually not made. You have to make them out of straw and paper, not not
like human
not
hair.
Taxidermy the guy.
Right, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a nice man. He was a good guy. He would text me for comedy advice, which I always felt was weird.
Yep. Well, he was jumping in with 2 feet, that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy to help him, but I always felt like, man, it's not my place to tell you how to run your club,
Right.
It's your zone. But yeah. And I love that as a club owner, he was one to solicit feedback.
Yeah.
I think it's an important quality.
Well, I think
And a very
I think it's
endearing
totally toxic to like think that you have everything figured out. I
Oh,
figure
yeah.
like as soon as you stop growing, then you're done.
Right.
You know. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
part
yeah.
of the reason why, like, you know, at least in my comedy career, quote unquote, you know, if I can't advance one way,
Yeah.
I'll figure out another way to
Sure.
do it. I mean, you know, there's stuff that I learn all the time. Like, I don't know, like I was thinking about like how come I'm the only person who has a bunch of microphones and produces
You're a musician.
stuff? Well, there's that, but I thought about it further than that. Like, my first experience on a soundboard was when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
There was a volunteer radio station
Okay.
run by the college,
Uh-huh.
and after I heard some Japanese dude who could not speak English do the weather,
Yeah.
I'm like, they're actually letting anybody get up there.
Yeah.
And so I went in
Because
there and
college radio is not listened to by anybody.
I know, it's perfect.
No
Except
one's
at the
listening.
U of A, they require that you be a student,
Yeah.
and that sucks. But
Okay. Did you
yeah.
not go there?
Well, no, I didn't go there.
Okay.
I went to University of Tulsa for 1 year for electrical engineering, and then I dropped out and helped a consecutive series of people start a vape store.
Nice.
Yeah. I
Are you still
know.
doing that? Still
Yeah,
selling
I'm still-
bongs and vapes and.
Ish, yeah. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how to like ambiguously market tobacco products online. Because you can't. Because like any video that I make gets flagged on Instagram if I'm taking pictures of the stores.
Okay.
So like my best compromise is like we go to car shows and we hand out a bunch of like promotional stuff, and then I'll take like really nice pictures of people's cars. I'll make a serious edit.
Yeah.
And then I'll make a completely ridiculous AI edit, make it look like a toy car, like it's getting helped by Optimus Prime, getting eaten, something like that. You know, and then I'll just troll these people. Because one of the things that I figured out, you know, one of the things that's been consistent in my life is that like people see the persistence that I have for stuff, and then
Yeah.
they'll come up to me with stuff.
Sure.
Like, hey Conrad, I've had this guitar in my closet since 7th grade. I haven't touched it. You might know
Yeah.
what to do with it. Hey Conrad, this is a really expensive camera that we don't use as much as we should. You think you might know what to do with it? I was like, wow. But when they gave me the camera, I started like taking pictures of all the open micers, and there was people like Cameron Carter saying stuff like, you know, I know Conrad doesn't know shit about photography, but these look great.
Yeah, their photos
know?
have always looked good.
And what happened was I ended up basically becoming the you know,
de facto
Facebook
photographer.
Well, no, not that. It was the
That
Facebook
logo with the wings, with the eagle thing.
I was the Facebook profile picture without any credit given for all of the local comedians.
You gotta watermark that shit, dude.
That's what I'm saying. No, so they crop out the watermark.
Seriously?
Yeah. So
You gotta just start sending them photos with the eagle on top of their faces and be like, this is what you get.
at
Or
this
on
point,
the mic.
well, for the store, I'm willing to settle for a chunk of the logo because if they look at the whole thing, I mean, I don't know.
For the store?
Like for the vape store,
Oh.
for the marketing for the vape store.
Sure,
Like if there's just a piece of the thing in there, then
I mean, you just make that part of the agreement. Like, hey, it's a free photograph, just give me credit.
yeah, but they still don't. You know, if you're trying to do that at scale, like
Yeah.
with a lot of people, like you just, you know.
It won't, yeah, it doesn't
And I
last.
could
I've seen
get
that.
pissed off at them, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
hard.
just gotta keep moving.
It's hard. Scene seems to be doing well, though.
Hmm?
The scene seems to be doing well. I was with Nick
Yeah.
the night he ended up on Kill Tony.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You were in Austin?
Mhm.
Oh shit, huh?
I was there for like 3 weeks. And I was like, man, I'm going home. Like, because for Kill Tony, you gotta like stand in line for like basically 4 hours.
Oh yeah, no. Like, I went to Kill Tony and did it one time.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this kid and he's staring at his notebook and he's nervous. And I'm like,
Like you
dude.
did? You were on stage?
No, like I was at the bar next door, standing in line like an asshole.
Yeah.
And I walk up to this kid. I've told this story on the pod before, but basically told him like nobody's gonna do anything if you don't do it for yourself. You know, waiting for somebody to tap you on the shoulder and give you a hand up so
Yeah.
that you can have a life is no way to live.
Sure.
You know, this guy's from Thailand. Have a beer. You know, your chances of getting on stage are less than 1/2 of
Yeah.
1%. You know, it's not worth the anxiety.
And
At
did
the
you
end
get
of this
on?
pep talk, you got on. Like at the end of that fucking.
The reason he was probably nervous is I'm guessing he knew something you didn't.
Well, I hope so. He did good though. I mean, And maybe that's how it works. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, shit, that's how I go to open mics. It's like if I can, you know, I will ask to go like.
Is there a mic at
10th.
Kava tonight?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a mic at Kava. That's why I'm gonna wrap up with this and then go head out and do that.
Isn't it a 7 p.m. mic?
It starts at 8, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I go. Maybe. Probably not.
Test out my funeral jokes.
You're gonna do the same jokes that you did earlier this week. Do people come out? What's today? Thursday? Do people come out? You think?
Man, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
That particular area has the.
Well, what's a good night? 15 at open mic?
Yeah, 15's great.
But all comedians?
Well, I mean, for my stuff,
Yeah.
if I can get a dozen's great.
Yeah.
You know, musicians, the good ones, they can go further. You know.
You're good.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're good. We'll blur you out. No. And if
Point of interest.
yeah. Last people who walked in front of the camera, I just blurred out their guts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Kept their faces in.
Yeah, because I thought that was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because we got to learn something to do it.
What, blurring their guts out?
Yeah. Well, tracking. Yeah.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah.
You use CapCut? What do you use to edit?
Premiere.
Too difficult for me, man.
Yeah, I know. Took me a year to learn it, but now I
But
know.
CapCut seems to like do it all. There's no
Yeah.
other. Yeah, Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, I did shit the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Cool thing about it is though, is once you learn it the right way, the hard way, then like if it took me 4 hours to do the first podcast, I'm down to like 15 minutes to edit.
Mm-hmm.
Like audio, video, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like markers, stuff that we don't want to say. You know, one of my favorite things is pressing this button. You know, anytime anybody says something fireable,
Uh-huh.
you know,
It's usually good.
because every once in a while, if the conversation gets slow, I'll just say something totally out of pocket and then
Yeah.
watch you react to it. Yeah.
Nice, man. So what's next for you?
Okay, so I'm producing that comedy show August 26th with that ad that I made for those guys that canceled with a lineup
How
of
long
my
of the
choosing.
notice did they give you?
A week.
Oh, that's good advance, though.
Well, it was okay.
That's
Like,
good
it
enough.
was on a Saturday. They gave it to me on a Monday. So like,
Yeah, it's good enough notice.
that's
5
better
days.
better than day of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in my opinion. If they're not drawing,
It was enough for me to react. The thing that I was upset about was how hard I worked on the fucking video on Saturday,
Mhm.
and nobody was going to pat me on the back for that.
no.
You know, like just
So
the
what was
same-
the video about?
Oh, it
Them?
was just so yeah. It was just a informational poster.
Mm-hmm.
I got a formula where like if you manipulate the audio file, it makes it easier to sync all the cuts up to wherever you want it.
Uh-huh.
So I'll play bass in the, you know, record a little line,
Mm-hmm.
40 seconds.
Nice.
You know, sync it to that, play guitar over it,
Mm-hmm.
make some bullshit song about there was a pizza place in Fayetteville. You know,
But that's still, applicable even if they don't do the show, right? Like if it's
It is.
the video.
it is.
Mhm.
It is, and that's yeah. I mean, I'm
That's the
not
bright side
mad
of
at
this, I
them
guess.
because Secret Group is cool,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess I'm really just I feel bad for my girlfriend that I fucking worked so hard to get that done when I did.
They didn't have to.
And then yeah, right. That's really what it is. Because
Yeah.
now she's mad at me.
Working hard's
over
overrated,
nothing.
man. I say that, but I feel like I work pretty hard.
You're a fucking zero generation Indian immigrant. You
Yeah.
probably like
But it is
you
overrated.
build an iPhone yourself, dude. You could.
I think I just got to figure out how to become white.
I did have a question. Like, what is your square job?
My square job?
Yeah. Do you have a square
And
job?
analytics stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
numbers. I feel like I
Numbers.
have more of an Indian job than you do.
What's yours?
I basically do tech support at a vape shop.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. The only way it gets more Indian is if it's at a kiosk at the mall.
Oh no, dude. Well, I like the kiosk at the mall. I like the modular setups. I like tiny stores, organization, shelves. I don't like people who take pain pills and Xanax and forget how to do everything.
Yeah.
Those people suck.
That's a cool little tote bag.
This little guy?
Yeah.
Harbor Freight, dude. That's some white people shit, dude.
Harbor Freight has the cheapest tools I've ever seen in my life.
Hell yeah, dude.
Great.
Well, disposable, quote unquote.
I mean, it looks like it lasts.
Well,
unless you're like a
you should see
daily
the other
use
one.
guy, you don't
Yeah.
need to buy from anywhere else. Like, you're not
Well,
on
I
a
mean,
work
that's
site.
that. Well, I mean, that's what it was. I was on a work site for a while.
Oh, okay.
I was doing like electrician stuff. Don't tell any local comedy club owner.
Yeah.
That's another little, cheat in figuring out how most of the buttons work.
You do electrical.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
I mean, like I dropped out of electrical engineering school, worked as an electrician for a couple of years, and named the vape store after Ohm's law. Like I'm not. I mean, and
Oh.
ultimately, like,
Wait,
yeah.
you named it?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you name it?
Because I didn't want them to, and I didn't want to do so. I didn't want to like have.
Why did they go with the name you gave them?
Well, because I pitched it to them.
Dude, Omi should sponsor the festival.
They should, but
Yeah.
we're in trouble right now.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know that we have a ton of money to throw around.
What'd you
Although
guys
that
do?
might be the perfect excuse
What?
to
Wash
sponsor.
money?
I don't know.
What
I
are you
don't
guys
know.
in trouble for?
We're not in trouble.
Oh.
They, okay. Here's one of the things that like makes me raise an eyebrow. So, because of the nature of what you sell in a store like that,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to get loans from a bank,
Okay.
which
What?
means
That's crazy. I guess
well,
that's fair.
it's
The bank doesn't
technically
wanna-
federally illegal.
Yeah.
Technically, when a bong comes through customs, it's labeled as a glass tube,
Mm-hmm.
so that so
The
that
government can't back that.
right,
Banks
and
can't support it.
And I don't know. That seems like a stupid game of tag to me, but
Yeah.
so is most of the rules,
Right.
except for the good ones. But um, yeah, because of that, I don't have access to a loan. However, there is a bank in Dallas run by,
If there's a place you're gonna sell vapes, it's to the crowd that we're bringing.
I would say yes.
You're gonna end up with fucking 1,500 guys that smoke in that building.
Well, the problem too is that most of the stuff that you buy at a vape store is single use.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the longer people hang out, the more money you don't make.
Okay.
And then the other objection that I have with working with my own bosses is that I did a gig for them one time
Yeah.
and then they shorted me
Oh,
$100, which is like Willie Nelson School of Business dictates that you steal a monitor or something to make.
So this
even.
is crazy. I played a venue, and you gotta look this up. It's called the On the Road Again Grant, and Willie Nelson sponsors it.
Oh yeah.
And if you play certain venues across the country, they give you like gas cards, little grant money, socks, fucking toothpaste, shit for the road, and it's not an insignificant sum.
Yeah.
And it's a handful of venues nationally. Like I did this thing for when I was out at Netflix Fest, and like a stage manager came up to me. He's like, "Yeah, this is like a grant that all comics that play this venue receive." And I was like, "I'd never heard of this, but they're just giving you like extra
Gas money.
gas money." And
That's
it's like
fucking
really
wild.
cool. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Shout out to Willie.
yeah. Well, I don't know why he does it or how it comes together, but I think it's like a Willie Nelson / Live Nation thing.
Jeez.
And it's super cool. So Willie Nelson On the Road Again Grant is what to look up. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have a problem like booking shows. I have a problem promoting.
Okay.
I'm getting really good at performing for 6 people. So good, in fact, that I appreciate a different 6 people.
Well, I don't
the
think
time
comics
before.
think enough about brand management, which is a weird thing to say. Because we're all such purists for the most part that you just think if your product is that good, it's naturally going to float to the top. And there is some truth to that buoyancy. But what you have to remember is there's a lot of other people that are not good at comedy that are floating on top of that water by pushing you underneath it.
Well,
And all they're good at doing is marketing, brand management. That's how they slip around you.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're ending up with fucking terrible specials on major networks that should 100% be going to more talented people. But we don't anytime there's money involved, corporate or otherwise, it's very rarely that the most talented people are the ones that get the most attention.
well, it's because there's a decision by committee.
Right.
And that's I think that's actually kind of the flaw with modern capitalism.
Yeah.
And democracy. But
Yeah, I'm an anarchist, so.
Well, you're
I'm
not.
all for
Well,
it.
I don't know. I think India is the newest democracy. They've got the most amount of parties. It is highly dysfunctional.
We're a relatively old democracy.
The 50s.
Yeah.
Like that's still new. I mean, I don't know. America's like.
So for the size of
200?
it, you know?
I guess, yeah.
For the size of it.
Yeah,
and democracy,
well,
in the
yeah.
way that's defined by the Western world, has existed before the French invented it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it just looks... It's weird to say this to people because they'll look at a monarchy and be like, it's not democratic.
Mm-hmm.
But what's more democratic than killing your king if you don't agree with what's said?
I mean, yeah, that's just being
It's
a
an
good
election.
manager. Yeah.
It is an election, except every day is the election.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a country with a king, and it was clear that there were flare-ups and there were certain things you could and couldn't say, and freedom of speech was one of those. Like, criticizing the king was a very touchy subject, but the trade-off was we paid $0 in tax ever.
Wow. That's
So,
fucking...
it's not a hard...
All right, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the deal with Puerto Rico, right? There's no taxation without representation. They did it the other way around.
What?
They don't have any representatives. They don't have tax.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta move to Puerto
They're
Rico.
like the 51st. Yeah, there's people, you have to live there at least half of the year.
Yeah, that's like the substantial presence test.
Yeah.
I can do that.
You
No
can-
problem.
You could live in
Puerto Rico?
for
6 months?
out of the year.
Please, I would live there all year.
All right.
Have you been there?
No,
It's just nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice, yeah.
I bet.
Puerto Rico's great, man. They got rum, they got beaches. I mean, there's definitely some shifts you would probably have to make, but
Yeah.
it's nice, yeah. The Caribbean is like it's a trip unto itself. All those, like, everything off the southeast coast of the United States has its own culture.
You want to grab another beer? real
Yeah,
quick?
we could do a pit stop. You wanna?
And we're back.
You need to start that again?
I don't know. It's still rolling. Yeah, data management is one of the shittiest parts of this.
Yeah.
Make sure you have storage on your
Enough
phone.
space.
Yeah.
Pull out everything.
Yeah. Archive all my dick pics. It's tough. Back them up. Lose
Those
the
aren't
backup.
going to take up much space. They're small.
Hey, I took big photos. All right, big ones. Oh, so aspirations for your comedy career? Are you trying to go full time with this? You want to be
Oh, yeah,
like
I mean,
Johnny Famous guy? You want to be
No,
like?
nowadays, I just want to write stuff I like and perform it.
Yeah.
And
No, I think
turns out the
that's-
stuff I like performing gets me a lot of death threats from right-wing folks. But
That could just be the climate. Lately.
it's been going for a few years.
Like,
It was like that when I-
give me an example.
I mean, I was critical of the Iraq War when I came here,
yeah,
and that was in, what, 2008? A
yeah,
couple years after it had really taken hold.
yeah. Well, you've got more perspective than a guy who's grown up his entire life and.
Yeah, so
In
I mean,
one
anything
place,
critical of power in America is usually going to draw
Is-
ire from people that find themselves connected to it on some level.
What do you think that is? Is that like a sense of powerlessness, or is that just like lack of identity? What do you think?
Well, what are the options?
I don't know. I
You
feel
either attach yourself to a power structure, or you realize that
Nah,
your only
well,
options are to fight or to admit that you're absolutely powerless against it.
I look at
So most people do the easy thing.
Well, I mean, I do it like this. It's like your life is a museum. You know, you can walk through it and observe other people's exhibits,
Sure.
or you can make your own.
Uh-huh.
And the thing that I like most about one of the things I like most about comedy is that one of the challenges that you have to conquer is to figure out what your voice is.
Yeah.
Like what works for you, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, who you are. And that's that's the result of a lot of hard work and
Just a lot of bombing. Across
really, yeah, no,
multiple states.
it's I mean, not literal brutality, but it is. I mean, it's
An accurate name, man.
Yeah,
it's
like,
an accurate name for the field.
emotional, just like what emotional masochism
damage.
that it takes to forgot what I was saying.
Well, even shorter range.
Just thinking of people bombing.
What are your aspirations for this podcast?
Well, okay, so the podcast is a result of a couple things. One is that I can do it,
Yeah.
so I should. And then two, I like it because even though I'm not getting paid for any of it, it's my creative project.
Sure.
And having done creative projects for other people, what really upsets me is when somebody's standing over your shoulder who doesn't know what you know how to do, telling you how to do it, or to do it again,
Yeah.
or when the first one's fine, you know?
Yeah.
With this project, when it's done, and it's really just an exercise of do what I think is valuable to me, and then hopefully, by some chance that other people will start to see the value in the thing that I see the value in too.
Right.
And like, so I'm like, I had depression,
Sure.
maybe probably still do,
Uh-huh.
but one of the deals that I made with myself was that if I'm going to be miserable my whole life and just complain about everything,
Sure.
then I'm going to need everything to, everything I'm complaining about next year needs to be different than what I'm complaining about now.
Okay.
And that'll be my measure for progress,
That's not a bad idea. That's a good way to do
Well, that's part of the reasons it's like, like with the comedy or whatever thing, it's like if I'm not going to, like,
Well, do you think you're a little myopic for wanting to do comedy in much bigger markets?
no, I don't think necessarily. I mean, big room feels super nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm fine where I'm at now.
Sure.
Part of me does want to move to Los Angeles and like take a crack at it, but the other part of me, the pragmatic side, is like, well, there's nothing wrong with like being able to have stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's life.
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, ultimately, you got to do whatever you got to do to make yourself happy, and for me, that's figuring out new ways to do stuff, and there's encouragement along the way.
Yeah.
Hey, so and so, you inspired me to do blank, or like with the music thing, like it's happened like twice where a little kid walks up to me, hey, I saw you at the thing. I'm like, ah. One of those times though, there's this little kid named Deuce. Shout out to Deuce.
Deuce?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Little kid named Deuce, and I booked a rap festival because one of these other comedians was talking about how he's the only comedian on the rap festival.
Yeah.
So and Omi's was the sponsor. So
Oh,
I
nice.
hit him up and I was like, hey, let me do a spot. Got the worst intro I ever got. You better be funny.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
that's
great.
always good.
It was weird. It was a weird night. It was like an outdoor gig. It started raining, so everybody had to like rush the stage to stay dry. So I was actually able to kind of pull it off, but all you could hear was rain
Uh-huh.
on the roof. Yeah, but Deuce, the kid had complimented, recognized me from one of my shows, was rapping at the rap festival.
Oh, nice.
I know.
That's
Like,
awesome.
holy shit.
How old is he?
Oh, dude, he couldn't have been like 8.
Oh, and he was rapping?
It was wild.
Also
Okay.
wonderful to do a podcast out here in 100-degree weather. It's basically just a sauna outside.
You should see the one with me and
two-
Marco Antonio. I
two
take my
bald
hat
dudes.
off, and it's just,
Yeah, we have nothing to absorb it.
yeah.
It just rolls off.
I do notice you seem to sweat way less than I do.
I'm of the soil.
Yeah, that
as
makes
it
sense.
were.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
from the desert.
I don't like cold either.
Yeah, you also have less hair than I do. I've at least got my eyebrows keeping
I'm
me
pretty sure I got
insulated.
no fucking hair.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried that there's like hair people don't know about that's really important, like in your esophagus or some shit that's also going away. Like,
Hair is mostly vanity. Sometimes it's useful, like eyebrows are a little useful. Keep
Yeah.
sweat out of your eyes.
yeah, like every time I see, there's like 2 of us in the NBA,
Yeah.
and I feel bad for them because I can tell that they're crying.
Oh, dude, I
You
knew
know,
a guy who
and
used to
it
play
looks like
football.
they're
He
sweating
plays for the
more.
Raiders now.
Yeah,
And he was a alopecia guy.
yeah. An
He was
emoji
the
person.
scariest, because he was 6'6",
Oh
built
gosh.
like a tank, English accent, black dude, no eyebrows. You could never tell if he was upset or happy.
Yep, that's good.
So I'm sorry for that part.
I got a poker face joke.
Yeah.
Yep. No, actually, like, I don't know. Being totally hairless fucking rules. Like,
Yeah.
minus.
You should see my back, man. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's a good trade-off.
Yeah, your hair migrated too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all down on the backside.
Fuck. Yeah, no, minus being able, minus getting my whole day ruined by like a single particle of dust.
What?
It's because there's no defense. It just
Oh, even inside?
goes, yeah, no,
Oh.
that's the worst. It's like a piece of sawdust or some shit, just like clings on there, and I can feel it. And it's
Damn.
just, yeah.
So how do you get it out? What?
You blow.
How does
hell.
does the mucus move the same way? Like
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
you
yeah.
have like cilia inside that moves mucus up.
I don't know.
Cilia are those like tiny fine hairs. I don't know if that's afflicted by
I think it is.
alopecia.
Yeah, because if I tilt my head up, and that's what I was talking about earlier. If I tilt my head up, it looks like looking into your ear.
That's crazy. Dude.
yeah.
I never even thought about that. That you have no hair inside your body.
So I'm worried. Like maybe there's like lung hair. You know?
It's just the stuff in your nasal passages that I know of.
Seems like I mean,
People have had alopecia and lived to be old.
my mom's got it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you
She's
go.
got a real. She's got a few problems, but she's like about 5 feet tall.
Is it hereditary?
Seems that way.
Good. I mean, I don't. Is
Yeah.
it alopecia nervosa or alopecia regulosa?
It's the
or what?
total
I don't know what the
Alice.
fucking name is.
Alopecia apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Sometimes I'll get hair growing out the side of my head.
that's good.
But, yeah. I
Yeah.
can tell because I roll the window down and I feel a little.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
That was a trip though, because there was like a weird point halfway through
Yeah.
where I was suddenly conscious of every hair on my body,
Yeah.
and you don't realize that you are
Right.
because you just have lived that way. Like, but it's, yeah, a nightmare.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Well, that part. Actually, I don't know. The hardest part was going out, getting a haircut from like the oldest barber in town,
Yeah.
to have him find like the first bald spot, thinking
Uh-huh.
he made a mistake. It's about a 3-year period, yeah. So I
Oh
shaved my
yeah.
own
So you
head.
had the stripe. You had the
Yeah,
greatest
I
hit
had
stripe.
the greatest hit stripe. One of the last things that I did, I had to go to a wedding. I went to, I don't know. I'd never been to like a black barber shop before,
Sure.
so I found the one in Fayetteville to go to, and it lived up to expectation,
Uh-huh.
100%.
Oh, dude, they will find hair that and make you look like you have a full head of hair.
Well, they didn't know what to do with me, you
Yeah.
know, because I was like, guys, I just point at my head, it's all splotchy. I'm like, can I get like a map of North America or
Yeah.
something intentional looking?
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, just shave it.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
cut a shape into it, and they're like, "There's no shapes."
But it was real fun because I got to be the odd man out until my buddy Mark Well walked into the room and greeted me.
Yeah.
And then they immediately like that, it was funny because like they went from like, who the fuck is that? Oh, okay, he's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's dope.
yeah.
Shout out to Markwell.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who you are, but
he knows who he is.
Well, man, it's 7:36. You want to try to make this mic?
He'll probably make it.
I might come.
That'd be rad.
I think I'm gonna try to do it.
Rest in peace, Renaga.
Yeah.
I'll miss you, especially the 90-minute long conversations that could have been 5.
They were long. there were some long chats, even in the brief time that I knew him.
You got anything you want to?
Plug?
Well, for the 20 people listening at home.
Yeah, please come to Big Diamond Comedy Festival. It's going to be a good time.
Big Diamond Comedy Festival.
Things are starting to sell out. Sam called it Diamond City Comedy Festival on Kill Tony.
Nice.
Sam named it.
Nice.
Like, I pitched him a couple different names, and he's like, this one sounds good, but let's call it this. And I was, it was like Big Diamond, and then he goes on Kill Tony. But he's Sam Talent, and I love him, so all is forgiven.
I listened to his book.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
The audiobook's probably better than the book because he gets a bunch of his comedian buddies to read it.
Yeah, he does.
Forward by Kyle Kinane.
Yeah, Kinane will be here.
Yeah?
Kinane's closing out Saturday night.
Hell yeah.
Jeff Asmus, I'm excited to see. He's a power hitter, that guy. Old Jeffy Asmus. So yeah, it'll be a fun weekend.
Well, hell yeah. This has been Connie's Untitled Nighttime Talk Show with Raj Suresh.
in the middle
Thanks
of the
for listening. Yeah, well, they listen. It's not safe for work.
All right.
All right, yeah. Thank you for listening. All right, I think we got it.
Nice.